Obviously, when you have the game of the century, it requires two videos, and UConn versus USC is clearly the game of the century.
What's the scoop on the latest game of the century? I don't know how many game of the centuries we played, but this is another one. Usually one or two a month, I think.
This video will be leftovers. We'll talk about what came from the recent press conference or the pregame press conference with Geno as well. We will touch on the matchup I'm most looking forward to seeing and why USC might be a very, very dangerous game for UConn. And then I'll finish out the video by updating my top 10 players in women's college basketball. I've been taking so much S from my previous list, and probably rightfully so. But yeah, I'll do a quick update on that. Now, before we start, the blurb's going to change in this one as... If you want to subscribe, great. If you give the video a like, great. But I want to do a shout out to my editor of this channel. They have recently bought a road bike and were in an accident. They suffered a concussion and a fractured clavicle. Thankfully, they thought their bike came through unharmed. And this was a very important road bike they had just bought about 8 weeks ago. Unfortunately, we have seen a micro crack in that road bike, and my editor, who is my daughter, is quite despondent. If you want to buy a super sticker, all proceeds will go to getting her a new bike. Now let's get into it. Sorry for the long-winded opening. So, UConn versus USC. The matchup I am most looking forward to seeing is it's not Paige and Juju. That's going to be great, obviously, but... As Geno said in his press conference, they'll probably wind up canceling each other out. It's the periphery players, and I am really keen to see Kiki Iriafen go against Sarah Strong. I think this will be the toughest matchup Sarah Strong has had so far in her career, as Kiki Iriafen is long at 6'3", and she's athletic. I'm curious in this game if she will be able to get by Iriafen and get to the basket and use her right-handed finger roll. That's a move that she's been using. As her arms are so long, it sort of reminds me of the old Dr. J move when he used to go down the lane and could just outstretch defenders and get by them and still put the ball in the basket. But I could also see a scenario where Kiki Iriafen makes things tough on Strong, as Kiki did not have a good game against Notre Dame, and I think she would like to make redemption on a big-time stage like USC. Since they played Notre Dame, their games have not really been high quality, and this is a big stage to take out the #1 recruit in the nation and say, yep, I am the best forward in the nation. The other thing Lindsay Gottlieb could do as well, she could put Rhea Marshall on Strong just to get a bit more height, as Marshall's 6'4". I don't think she would keep it that way, because I think Strong would just try to go outside and use her range on Marshall. But I just think they're going to use different looks on her and make it a really, really tough night for Sarah Strong. And really, that's the fun part about this matchup. How does Sarah Strong adjust, and is she still able to overcome and be as dynamic as ever? I'm looking forward to that. And as well, UConn might be getting some help from AZ Fudd. That was one of the things that came out from Geno's press conference. He did not discount her playing in this game, going the old Jim Carrey line saying,
I'm saying there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance. Yeah, I know she wants to play.
And if he's saying that, I think AZ Fudd is going to get some minutes in this game. I think it hurt her pretty bad to miss the high-profile game against Notre Dame, and I do think that she will get time. Or Auriemma is just messing with USC, but I know. I think that AZ Fudd will play. Mark it down. Tell me how wrong I am in the comments when it does not happen. The other thing that I found funny in the press conference was that Lindsay Gottlieb went to Geno Auriemma's summer basketball camp when she was a teenager. That's when you know you're old as a coach, when the opposition coach has gone to your basketball summer camp as a kid. Now, the other players that I have an interest in how they will go, one is Ice Brady. Yes, I know my last video, some did not like it and thought I was being mean to Ice and, comparing her to Amare DeBerry. I wasn't comparing her to Amare DeBerry. I was more making the point that in the second year, when players that haven't had a good freshman year, they come back their second year, you always get the story, they're in better shape, they seem so much better, and it's basically hope. Yes, Ice did well versus Iowa State versus Audie Crooks, but I think this one's a bigger game for her as USC has a dynamic front line with Iriafen and Rhea Marshall. And UConn would feel so much better about themselves if they could hold up against them, much like how Notre Dame and Caval held up so well against that front line. But here's the rub. This is why I think the game is so dangerous for UConn, as I think USC is coming in very loose with nothing to lose, as I think Juju Watkins rolling her ankle in some ways takes pressure off of her. So I think she'll play. I don't think the ankle is going to be a big deal. Something to watch during the game. Is she limping or not? But overall, I do think there's a good potential for USC to come in nice and loose and maybe catch a game from their experienced players. So obviously Juju Watkins, Talia Van Oelhoffen, and Kiki Iriafen and Rhea Marshall, and carry them, as you know they want to get some vengeance on a big stage. And taking out UConn on the road would be a perfect statement type game for them, which they're desperate to have. Now let's finish this off by getting into my top 10, my modified top 10. So previously I had Beckers 1, Watkins 2, Kiki Iriafen 3, Hidalgo 4, Lee 5, Anissa Morrow 6, Fulwiley 7, Harmon 8, Beers 9, and Betts 10. In my new and updated list, I have Hannah Hidalgo number 1. She's taken out all comers, including Paige and Juju. I think she's the best player currently in college basketball. Number 2 is Lauren Betts. She's moved up from 10. She is just devastating in the middle, and if she has help, then she's unbeatable. 3, I have Paige Beckers. She could move up higher if she takes out USC and South Carolina. 4, I have Juju. Now, Paige and Juju could switch depending on the outcome of today's game. Number 5, I have Madison Booker. Yeah, I said it at the time, I think, when I did an update video. I really should have had Booker instead of Harmon in the top 10. Harmon just hasn't come back well from her knee. She's just not hitting her shot currently. And Booker, yeah, she's got a good shot, and she's just big trouble for the opposition. Now, number 6, another one I had way too low, was Flau'jae Johnson. She's doing everything. She's hitting her shot and everything else. Number 7, I've got Anissa Morrow after Johnson. She does everything well. She's not shooting real well in the mid-range right now, but she's fine. Number 8, Olivia Miles. That's another one. That's the biggest apology. I had her way down. I was crushing her over her shot, and what did she do? While she was injured, she went out and found an outside shot, and she's devastating. So apologies, Olivia Miles. You've adapted well to playing with Hannah Hidalgo. Well done to you. Number 9, I have Tahina Pau. She just still shoots the ball well, getting even more minutes now, and she's still as good as ever. And then number 10, I have Sarah Strong. Is that a UConn bias? Will I eat my words after this game? Will Kiki show everybody why she is the best forward in basketball? But for right now, I have Sarah number 10. That could change after tomorrow. Now it's over to you. Your thoughts on the game as well on my top 10 list. Proceed to crush me. Who did I totally forget and leave out? I probably have. Feels like I've left somebody out. But anyway, have a crack. Thanks a lot for watching. Again, any support you could give in terms of super stickers for my daughter's bike would be much appreciated. But ultimately, the Bank of Dad will figure something out so she has a new bike. Thanks a lot again for watching. Good night.